here in Pacifica at the Coastside Farmers Market, and we're here with one of everybody's favorite farmers, Farmer John Muller, owner of Daylight Farms, also Farmer John's Pumpkins, known to many. John, will you tell us about Daylight Farms and the produce that you have here at the farmers market? What do you grow?
Yeah, so we're kind of a little unique operation in Half Moon Bay. We have a lot of just fresh greens, and that's what our coastside is known for. A number of growers are growing different items. So today we have some Swiss chard, we have some favas, as you mentioned, and we have our herbs, and then we have a few onions for the first time this year. And then
nice.
The coast grows good beets, and beets are very healthy for everyone, and people are loving our beets. So we just try to grow good, fresh product. And as I said earlier to people, that we're just 15 minutes down the road with the new tunnel now here in Pacifica, and so people love coming by, and most of our product was picked within the last 5 hours.
Wow. So in terms of beets, is it true, is that just the up and coming vegetable? They seem to be on everyone's menu, and I see Daylight Farms beets on a lot of menus.
Well, they're just so healthy for everyone too, and beets like nice cool growing conditions, and actually unfortunately this winter we had no rain and no cold weather, but the coast is cooler than inland, so yeah, no, beets are very popular and very healthy, and they can be used in a variety of ways, which I never used to like hot cooked beets, and now we're doing that too, and so we like that.
So any other vegetables that are becoming trendy that you're growing, or you're seeing any trends with other ones?
Without a doubt, and we have some coming because the winter crop finished earlier, but kale is very, very popular.
Kale, of course, that's
kale is just fabulous, and then all of our coastside English peas are coming in. And then, you know, I just noticed coming up the road here, the Brussels sprout friends are starting to plant their first Brussels sprouts. So, you know, we'll get in the groove here, and the crowd is wonderful, and these are nice, wonderful certified markets that we love.
Great. So tell us now about switching hats. Tell us about your pumpkin farm. How many pumpkins do you grow or harvest every year?
Well, it's interesting because I've worked on the seeds last night in between, and so I have 4 giant competitive ones already planted.
Wow.
So those are with the secret sauce. And then it looks like we're going to have about 53,000 plants.
Oh my gosh.
But we're going to have about 47 varieties. I got some new squashes from all over the world, so it's going to be really fun. I got a lot of unique stuff this year. Hopefully they all get growing.
Great. So in terms of people picking up pumpkins for cooking, some are suitable and some are not.
And actually, we've redirected our whole theme this year for the cooking squashes.
Oh, you have?
So we got some real heirloom varieties from different growers throughout the world. And I don't know what they taste like yet, but they look pretty weird. So hopefully they'll be good.
So what's the earliest time people can actually go to the pumpkin farm? I mean, October is obviously pretty packed, right?
Now, we're really working on our transplants this coming week here in May, first week of May. And then we will hopefully be picking some squashes by the first 10 days of September.
Nice.
And it's interesting you ask that because most of the time we sell about 80% not orange up until October.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that makes sense.
They want the orange at the Halloween time.
Now, I've noticed on your pumpkin farm you have a teepee. Will you talk about that a little bit? What's that about?
Sure. You know, many years ago, I have a Native American friend, and we talked about it, and it is very spiritual to us, and we respect it. And we've had proposals in there. We've had prayers for you know, illnesses that we baby boomers are all kind of facing. So it's very nurturing. And then when we do the thousands of school children, we do a reading in there with them, and we try to get everyone calm and comfortable in the Native American teepee.
Now, my recollection is you do something with disabled school children as well out there every year, do you not?
Sure. Our farm is kind of special in a way, we feel, because there's not a lot of distractions. We don't do the entertainment like our neighbors all do, which is wonderful. But we kind of keep it strictly agriculture and nurturing and autumn, fall harvest.
Great. So with that, John, I thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And we're going to talk to Ida a little bit. Here with Ida Muller, the other half of Daylight Farms and Farmer John's Pumpkins. So it's our understanding that you are the expert on the giant pumpkins, and you've had some champions, right? Have you not grown some championship pumpkins?
Yes, yes. I started out growing them, And then after a few years, Farmer John started. So then we had, the big contest. And our biggest one was 1,200.
1,200 pounds?
That was the year mine was 1,200 and his was 1,185. So now he's doing a little more of the growing. We help each other, but he's now...
You have a family competition, in other words?
Yes.
Now, he mentioned something a year or two ago about, I don't know what it was with the weather, and he said you had fans going on your pumpkins, or what's involved in that?
It was one very, very dreary coastal year where we hardly ever saw the sun, and we had to, at that time we did everything outdoors, and we had to have a cover over it, and we had stem rot, and we had to have a fan to keep it dry, but then we needed to have some kind of heat, and the squirrels were coming by it. It was a very challenging year.
Did you have to sleep with it?
Almost. Well, that was the year we had the 1,200 pounder.
Oh my gosh.
The day before we had 3 that were very nice. And the day before the weigh off, one of them had a big hole in it. A rodent near the creek had bore a hole in it. And so John kept watch of the other 2 for the rest of
babysat for them?
24 hours, yes.
So now what's the secret to growing them? Is it in the seeds? I mean, we see these giant pumpkins, which really don't resemble pumpkins. You might want to tell people what they look like.
Well, since about 41 years ago, they started hybridizing, not genetically modifying where you're putting a shark into a pumpkin seed, but open air cross-pollinating large squash and large pumpkins.
Oh, no wonder.
And all these different types of that family, the genus of that family, to have giant pumpkins. Some have more orange, some don't.
Okay.
Now different people are trying to get like the most perfect giant pumpkin that's orange and looks like a pumpkin. But because of the squash crossbreeding, that's why some of them
that makes sense.
Very,
I get it. Okay. So now you're the seed expert, John said. Is that all kinds of pumpkin seeds, or the big ones, or which?
That's nice. He thinks I'm an expert. We, because our pumpkin farm is a little different than some of the others, ours is more to embrace the pumpkin as opposed to other things that some of the other farms do. So we have over 80 varieties of pumpkins, and so that put us on a search throughout the world for seeds.
Wow.
And I came across these seeds from Italy, and when I found them, I also found all these other heirloom seeds that I remember my grandfather growing in his garden. And so I asked who sells them in Western United States, and they said, well, we need someone to sell them.
Oh, perfect.
So John and I thought maybe by being distributors of these seeds, we would be able to stay in farming, because something to supplement the farm income in these challenging times. And over the last few years, we've done a lot of seed shows, and John speaks on all this up at like the Northwest Garden Show.
Because they need a seedy character, right? To show up and do it.
And so we finally developed a website and a catalog. And so we have a company called The Heirloom Seed Store.
Oh, interesting.
And it's an online store.
Great. So one final question for you. I know you're a great cook, and you have all kinds of recipes. Where those are found on your website, I believe?
Well, we have several recipes on farmerjohnspumpkins.com website. And we will be putting more in, and we've had people ask to try to do a cookbook, so that could be in the offing.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Ida.
You're welcome.
We appreciate your time.
Great seeing you. Thanks for coming to the market.